Rob, since we have you here, and we went through this, I can use the word emotional day yesterday when it comes to this team. And, we've been covering this team for years, and there is an attachment that we have, and a personal type of attachment and an emotion that we have. And I'm always interested in what you have to say, because you are the consummate host, and you are incredibly, gifted at what you do. But it also means that we don't always hear your opinion. And that's by design in many cases. But I tell people, whether you're there or not, that Rob Stone has some of the most interesting takes on soccer. He's been around. He's seen a lot on and off the field. And I am always interested in it, whether it goes on air or not. But we have you here, now a day after a obviously bad defeat, but more importantly, a bad tournament and a bad moment right now. Thoughts on the U.S. men's national team?
Sad, disappointed. I like Greg Berhalter. I like Greg Berhalter as a human being. I think he really cares about this program. He represented this nation twice at a World Cup. He spent hours and hours just becoming a better and more educated person around the craft that he chose. So it's not like he mailed this in. And as of this recording, he's still the U.S. manager. And if he goes forward, I am full on supporting him. But we've been talking so long about this next generation and how important 2026 was, and that this was the last great big test. I know they're going to have the Gold Cup next year. I pray that they somehow figure out a way to juice up that tournament. I know it's going to be really difficult, because otherwise it's just kind of a little, it's a minnow tournament, right? It's just a little regional tournament. It's an exercise of a couple games in a short window that's going to do its best to replicate a World Cup. So the fact that there's tangible evidence out there that we haven't gotten better and we haven't found solutions disappoints me, because one of my favorite lines you said yesterday was, I should be happy right now. I should be excited. This World Cup is coming to our country in 2 years. It's going to be the biggest sporting event this planet has ever seen. And I want everybody to be enthused about this party and to show off, frankly, the growth of American soccer on and off the field, right? Whether it's, and I know a lot of the stadiums are going to be NFL, but a lot of these NFL stadiums were built with soccer in mind. The companies that are going to be attached to it, what we at Fox Sports are going to do for this amazing spectacle. And I want everybody else to be excited about it. And now we have to manufacture that. Now we have to go do it for this team, because this team right now is not getting anybody excited. And they shouldn't be, because who out there has reason to be really excited about this team?
Yeah. You work in sports, and we all know that sports are, like we said, incredibly emotional, and perspective is not something that often we associate with sports. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's an escape where we can just be crazy and, go off and fly off the handle and do all that. But sometimes also, as you get further away from something, you do tend to have some perspective and maybe look back on it. And I know it's still only a day, but I don't feel any different than I felt yesterday.
No.
I don't think anything has changed. I don't think a lot of people out there...
I think I actually feel worse, to be honest with you. I feel worse because Uruguay's a better team, right? And I think we all knew that if every chip fell our way, maybe we got a shot to win the group. But in the back of our heads, I think we're all saying, you're going to get out as the second place team from Group C. Again, the bare minimum. And we didn't even get the bare minimum. And when you look at that group, if this was, Mosse, if this was a World Cup draw, right? And you take a look at it and you're like, Uruguay, Bolivia, Panama, and the U.S., hell yeah. We're getting out. You are doing cartwheels. And I know Copa America, smaller field, it's not the World Cup. But this was a very manageable, easy draw for the U.S. And the red card spun everything off. I think everything just went off the axle when the red card happened. I'm not sure the Balogun injury in the first half is getting enough attention, because I feel like he was getting into his own. He was that one threat up there. And it just felt like kind of a collision of events gone wrong that are going to probably be the demise of Greg Berhalter in the end.
Yeah. Mosse?
A couple of things. I had a very sobering moment today. I was asked to put together a graphic of the U.S.'s upcoming matches, And the next 3 friendlies they have lined up are against Canada, New Zealand, and Panama. Now, Canada and Panama are 2 countries that advance to the knockout stage of this Copa America. Think about that for a second. The U.S. and Mexico go out, Canada and Panama advance. And frankly, Costa Rica had a better performance in either the U.S. or Mexico, drawing Brazil and beating Paraguay tonight. But no disrespect to those teams, but it's kind of, it's back to playing those teams for the foreseeable future. This summer was the chance for something different and to test yourself against elite competition, and they really didn't make the most of it. I do want to read our good friend Doug McIntyre had an interesting post on X today.
Okay.
He said, for anyone wondering, no, U.S. Soccer wouldn't have to increase the salary of U.S. women's coach Emma Hayes to match what any new U.S. men's coach might make if it's more than Hayes currently earns. They aren't linked at all.
Got it. Okay, well,
that's important.
That's good to know.
That's important.
So that's
because you're banging the drum for Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola. You want him to go that big.
I went very Alexi Lalas last night. Go big.
Yep.
Right. Go big or go home. Yep. That's what we do in America.
Yep.
And why should we not be swinging hard and swinging for every fence for this country? And I don't think our federation has done that enough. I think they're swinging for the women more than they are for the men, to be honest with you. I think they've been almost pushed back and say, all right, we gotta step up and fight for this women's program a little bit more than the men. Let them take care of themselves and figure it out. No, I'm tired of that. I mean, I'm not tired of that. I'm happy that they're fighting for the women's national team, but they need to up their game on the men's side. And the obvious place is a manager, starting with a name, starting with somebody who can generate interest. And I understand Pep and Jurgen, it's club coaches. It's not national team coaches. Those are 2 different gigs. But I look at those personalities, and to me, it's a seamless transition. Pep Guardiola has or still has a place in New York City. We saw him at Boston Garden taking an NBA playoffs.
He took a sabbatical over here.
Yeah, the American culture entices him. And Jurgen Klopp, to me, is very American, with that smile and his outgoing.
Heavy metal, all that kind of stuff.
Everything. I mean, it almost makes too much sense.
And he's free.
And the other thing, too, is the U.S. job is a job that is sexy, that people would want.
Let me set you up on that. If Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola walked in this room right now and they said, I'm kind of on the fence, Rob Stone, sell me on the job. Make the case of why this is a job that an elite manager should want.
Yeah. What is it like to manage a host country at a World Cup? How many opportunities does that present itself? And by the way, it's just a 2-year gig. It's a 2-year gig. Come by, enjoy America. Yeah. Enjoy everything that we're building down in Atlanta. Enjoy this young talent. Go around, scour, find anybody you want that's got somewhere on their passport USA. And we're going to give you everything you need to succeed. And my God, the scene in 2026 is going to be amazing. And when you're done, and if you love it, you've got a lifetime job here at U.S. Soccer. You want to be technical director? We'll create a job for you. We'll figure it out. A lot of people want to come to America. Jose Mourinho, there was a reason all his camps years ago were always in L.A. He wanted to come to America, and I think we keep seeing it with the players, like, it's so enticing. Let's go to America. Let's see what it's like. The next step is some of these managers saying, let me come out here. And I think it's easier to do it with a national team than with an MLS team.
Carlo Ancelotti's here right now. I keep seeing pictures of him on social media.
Yeah. Come on in, Carlo. Yeah, I'll talk to him. I don't know. I don't know who I just made myself director of national.
I love it. Coach. I love it, Rob Stone. You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.